Escaping past trauma can be really difficult because what happens is you get stuck looking at things in your current reality that remind you of past things, and you get caught envisioning memories of these past things that happen, and they just keep invading your life. This is what happened with me. I had PTSD, I went through it. But the only thing that actually helped me overcome this is starting to create a vision of the future, okay? Having a vision of the future, something that would bring me happiness, something that would bring me content, personal fulfillment, you know, some degree of being proud of myself, just something that would allow me to really feel happy with myself and my life. And once I created that vision of what I wanted it to be, then I started to work towards that vision. And whenever I started to feel like I was down or things were feeling kind of dark or things were working against me, I started to pay attention to that vision in my mind. For me, that vision was helping people who were sick, who had trauma, because this is what I went through and it was the most challenging thing in my life. And in the middle of it, I said, once I'm through this, I'm going to be able to help people. And that's going to be the thing that makes this all worth it, going through it. So I really hung on to that the whole time when I was going through the trauma. I was going through the illness for years. I thought to myself that when I get to the end of this, I'm going to do this thing that makes me really proud of myself. And this was, the key thing that got me through all of it. Otherwise, it would have just all looked like trauma, bad luck. Why did this have to happen to me? I would have been in the victim role. The victim role doesn't get you any type of growth. It doesn't lead to any type of growth or spiritual evolution. You can't progress when you're in the victim role. So you have to look at this situation as an opportunity, this illness, this trauma, whatever you've gone through, an opportunity to give you a second chance in life, to look at it differently now, to go ahead and create a new version of your life that you want. And then let's work towards it. Let's start looking forward rather than backwards. Let's stop looking at the present and being reminded of the things that happened in the past. Let's look at the present and be reminded of things we're thinking in the future. That's the thing. The more you think about whether it's the future or the past, the more you're going to bring yourself towards it, right? If you're thinking about your past all the time, you're going to end up bringing yourself towards current events that remind you of your past, or they're going to feel just like your past, okay? If you're thinking about your future and this thing that you want and the thing that provides you happiness and relief and fulfillment in your mind when you think about it, then you're going to start drawing yourself towards it. You're going to have events that line up into your life that bring you closer and closer. This is how people become successful with multi-gazillion dollar businesses. This is how people can become successful becoming professional sports athletes. Anything. They have a vision of what they want to do, and then they start working towards it. And they keep paying attention to that vision while they're in the middle of difficulty, while in the middle of that darkness, in the middle of those challenges. They keep looking forward to the vision. So this is critical. If you want to be able to overcome your past trauma, you have to have a vision of the future. What do you want the future to look like? Often I speak to clients who are in trauma, and they're either talking about the past or they're talking about the present. Ask them about the future, anything, and none of the future looks good to them. Nothing in the future looks good to them. There's no conversation about how this is going to work out for them, what they're going to do next in their life, how the plans that they have for their future when things are better. They have to be able to start expecting that healing is going to occur. They start planning their life for the time when they're already going to be better. They got to start thinking that there's going to be a time there and create that life from that point on. Start building that life in your mind, create that vision. Because if you do that, then you will have somewhere to go in the darkness, and you will have something that will keep you at least moving in some general direction. Without some vision of what you want, an end goal that leaves you fulfilled, happy, proud, what's the point of all of it? You're just going to keep buying into the trauma, the stories of the trauma. You're going to be the victim of the trauma. And this is what I did for 20 years. You know what I mean? I was victim of everything, right? And eventually I started to realize that this vision was the only way out, was having a vision of something positive in the future that was going to bring me happiness. And then I would hold on to it in the dark moments, and it worked. I'm telling you, it worked. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I get hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on there teaching you how to heal yourself. Take care.